Now we Indians, we love to travel with our families or then lots of luggage, so it's no wonder that this segment has seen a lot of action lately. Now manufacturers like to call them by new and unique names, but we like to call them MPVs. The latest entrant into this segment, the Kia Carens, came in and stirred things up. Well, Maruti are fighting back. They have just upgraded their XL6, which is the 6-seater version of their Ertiga. What's new? Let's take a look.
The XL6 will now be offered on 3 trims, Zeta, Alpha and Alpha Plus. And this time around there will be 3 dual-tone colors on offer too. For the rest, the exterior hasn't changed much. There's a new chrome bar grille that runs across from headlamp to headlamp. Now these are 4-element LED reflectors with LED DRLs. There are swanky new 16-inch alloys and the BMC pillars are blackened. At the rear, the LED tail lamp gets a smoke effect and a chrome bar runs across the tailgate too. The boot space remains the same and is reasonably sized with all rows up, and you can flip the third row down to open up more room.
But the bigger changes are really on the inside. Well, for one, you can see that the seats are now perforated leather because the front seats are ventilated. So yeah, that's a real convenience when it's very hot outside. And in other changes, you see that there is a 6-speed automatic now, so you get paddle shifters as well. You get a new stone finish on the dash. The touchscreen remains the same size, but now it's been upgraded and it gets the Smart Play Pro system, which gives you things like a 360-degree camera. So let's engage that and take a look. And you get voice assist features. You get connectivity with Alexa as well, which has about 30 plus functions. You can do things like pre-cool the car, switch on the hazard lights, lock, unlock the doors, and a host of more functions as well. So as you can see, there are lots of upgrades to the feature list.
In other updates, you get telescopic adjust for the steering, ambient footwell lighting and front door lamps. The Voice Assist too has a certain amount of preset commands and works for adjusting the radio stations, checking the range, using the phone and playing music off connected media. And we tried that too.
Hey Suzuki.
Hi, what can I do for you?
Tune in to 101.0 FM.
Tuning to 101.0 FM.
Earlier in the day, we did also get a demo of how Alexa commands work, and you can do things like pre-cool the car in the automatic version only, lock the doors, check the fuel range, put on the hazard lights, and a host of other functions. For safety, Maruti have also added a tire pressure monitoring system, and now you get 4 airbags as standard, as well as ESP and hill hold assist. Now, while nothing else on the inside has changed, just to recap for all of you, here's what the middle and third row are like.
For the rest, the interior remains pretty much the same. The middle row is comfortable and spacious. There's a lot of range on the slider of the middle row, so you can open up space for tall people or adjust the space between the third row. As you can see, there is ample leg room. You have the roof mounted AC for convenience. You have pockets for storage of your phones. You have a 12-volt socket for charging at the back here. And of course, you have pockets at the back of the seat. Nice large door and window area, which was the big plus point of the Ertiga. So it feels very spacious and airy. I'm going to get into the third row just to recap on how it is. Okay, so getting in is pretty easy. It's a single touch. The seat slides forward and jumping in is pretty easy. Now I've got this seat pushed all the way back, and as you can see, for someone that's my height, around 5'4", there still is enough leg room. I have space to tuck my feet underneath. You do sit a little knees up, but you can also recline the backrest. So if you don't have too much luggage at the back, it's actually pretty comfortable in this back seat. The third row, for someone like me, even on long journeys, would be perfectly okay.
Another big change on the XL6 is that it gets a new heart, the K-Series 1.5 dual-jet dual-variable valve timing petrol engine that has 103 HP and 136.8 Nm of torque. It's marginally lower than the previous engine, but it also promises efficiency. In fact, claim figures are 20.97 km per litre on the manual and 20.27 km per litre on the automatic. The question is, what does it feel like on the road? Is it different from the earlier version? Well, that's what we're going to find out.
Now, if you're ambling along and crawling along in city and in traffic, you'll find that the auto works fine and, does the job that it's meant to do. As long as you're gentle with the throttle, it works just fine. The thing is, the moment you get some open space and you want to tuck into a gap, you'll find you really have to press down hard on the accelerator. You start hearing the engine work. You really have to get it on the boil to get it going.
In auto mode, the shifts move up quick and the build-up of speed is very slow, so it doesn't pick up the pace as easily as you would like. The mid-range is flat and the gearbox also doesn't kick down fast enough unless you extend your foot flat to the floor. And even when you do, there seems to be more sound than action. So the engine is constantly kept working hard, and as a result, it's noisy and sounds strained.
So out on the highway, I find that the better thing to do is get it into manual mode and use the paddles, which makes progress just so much smoother and better. You can't just put your foot down once you're cruising and get going. You really do need to work the gears.
Using the paddles makes a big difference, and then you don't have to keep pushing the engine to max revs, so refinement levels improve too. In fact, in manual mode, the good thing is that it doesn't shift automatically based on revs. It holds a gear all the way to the 6000 RPM mark. The kickdowns are also immediate, and it makes the whole drive experience much better. Even in traffic, a quick tug on the paddles is best for those quick overtakes, but then that defeats the purpose of an automatic. There is some amount of electrical assist when you put your foot flat down, as the XL6 is also a mild hybrid, but you really can't feel it. The battery gets recharged on braking too, and an energy flow display on the infotainment lets you know what's happening. Basically, this is done to ensure better efficiency, so that every time you dump your foot down, which is something that this engine and gearbox combination make you do often, you are not drinking fuel. Overall, the automatic just feels lackluster on the performance front. The manual, on the other hand, is quite different.
The manual feels much lighter on its feet. The clutch is light and easy, so in city traffic like I am just now, it is very easy to drive. You can be a lazy driver too. It is very tractable, so a higher gear, lower RPM. As long as you're gentle with the throttle, it will get a move on quite easily.
The manual breathes a lot easier, and as a result, it sounds more refined of the two as well. It's not too difficult to drive in the city because the clutch is light and you don't have to work the gears too much. And even on the highway, overtakes come much easier with gentler inputs on the throttle. Now, not much else has changed in the way it's out on the road, except the tires are up one size and the dampers have been retuned too. So over bumps and potholes at low speeds, the XL6 does have a comfortable pliancy, and as you pick up the pace, it stays flat and composed as well. So passengers, even ones in the third row, are always kept comfortable. Handling is predictable and it feels stable and planted, and it gives you a good amount of confidence on the highway too.
Prices start at 11.29 lakh and go up to about 14.55 lakh for the new XL6, which is about a lakh more than before. But it now comes much better equipped with a load of modern tech, additional airbags and connectivity that consumers want. It remains spacious, efficient and comfortable too. Performance is not its best suit, and the new 6-speed auto fell far short of our expectations. Between the two, it is the manual that would definitely be my pick.